Hello and welcome to episode 59 of my informative completionist playthrough of Pathfinder Kingmaker. And this is an episode I've been looking forward to for a long time, or this episode and the next one, because we're going to visit the Tenbrous Depths, which is DLC content for the game, which is a 16 level dungeon, which progressively unlocks as we go through the game. And we're going to do the first 4 levels of this dungeon, which is as much as we can do. And you might have gathered from my previous playing that it's the combat in this game and the thinking about it and the planning it and executing it that keeps me coming back. And this dungeon is great fun. I really recommend it. It's a little bit of a challenge on challenging mode, but challenging difficulty, I should say, but not so bad. Anyway, here we are, Tenebrous Ruins. We've got Xelliren, Honest Guy, and Way Down. Right, so the first part of this is going to be a little bit of plot-related stuff. We are going to talk to this big old silver dragon here. This is Xelliren. And we can also see, and it's sort of set up. It's a rather strange environment. We got bookshelves, we got weapon racks, we got a whole feast set up with a dead skeleton there. So there's something odd about this location, and we know that not everyone can come here. If we have a look, here we go. That we were called here, and only those who are called actually find this place. So let's have a little chat here with Xelliren. So, big silver dragon, you have answered my call, protector of Xelliren. I will have you know, no one has ever returned from these caves alive. Well, that's promising, isn't it? Many valiant heroes before you have sacrificed your lives to bring victory one step closer. I have not forgotten their feats, nor will I forget yours. Quite the... As if you say one thing, that is a bold opening statement that presumably would send most people running the other way. But, right, what is going on? Who are you? Yes, okay, let's try again. Who are you? My name is Xelliren. I'm a loyal servant of Apsu. This is a great ancient dragon god. So, yes, a few worshippers, but most of them dragons, or metallic dragons, I think I should say. So, thousands of years ago, my god appointed me to watch over this place, and here we know, in the depths, there is something linked to the beast, and this is Rovagug, the great destroyer, the sort of god of destruction, and who wants to gobble up everything that exists and destroy it. And Xelliren found an egg down there, so an egg of Rovagug, so something's hatching. I stood guard here looking for a way to destroy the spawn before it hatched and brought immeasurable suffering to those who dwell upon the land. Alright, who's Apsu? Ancient god, maker of all. Few mortals remember him. Well, I haven't noticed that it's really sad, but let's ask this one. Is it just me, or are you really sad? And, he's sad because many, many heroes have been through here, and they've gone down to try and defeat the spawn of the beast, and none of them have returned. Great. I made a mistake, and they paid dearly for it. You see, I never understood the true nature of the monster. For many years, I and the heroes who answered my call would wander these dungeons, thinking that the monster larva was the greatest threat. It was only when I found the egg and touched its shell that I realized the spawn has turned the entire dungeon into its nest. So, bear in mind that Xelliren has been down into this dungeon, and he actually found the Egg of Rovagug, and he touched it. But there's more here. Madness. Darkness and madness are the monster's sword and shield. Its food and the material that its shell is made of. So, everyone who went down into this dungeon eventually lost their minds. And the spawn of Rovagug feeds upon this insanity. Somehow, I avoided the same fate. So, despite being all the way down there, Xelliren has apparently avoided this fate, and whereas everyone else who's been down was transformed. Yeah, so what are you doing here, buddy? And yeah, he's apparently guarding, and he's summoning heroes. So he sends us bad dreams, and summons us here. Perhaps you yourself are the hero who will finally achieve this long-awaited victory. Well, I'm going to say yes. Yeah. So what's expected of us? Etc. etc. Rovagug's egg, and great news. The larva of the beast will destroy half the river kingdoms if it hatches. The shell that surrounds it is a labyrinth of darkness and madness, inhabited by thousands of its former victims. Hundreds of heroes perished as they sought a way through it. But now I know where the egg is, and the path is almost clear. So this is important. Like that as we go down into this dungeon, we are going to encounter individuals who, lore-wise, effectively are supposed to be some of these many hundreds of heroes that descended to try and defeat this egg. Anyway, what blocks the path? And yeah, madness. The caves will drive you mad. This gives the egg strength. The monster feeds on their terror and pain. And yeah, these brave heroes still wander the labyrinth. Find and destroy 4 of their strongest, and the power of the beast's madness will weaken. So that's our mission. We need to find 4 mini-bosses, basically. And yeah, and then we'll be able to destroy the monster before it hatches. And we're listed here: the Fallen Priestess, the Weary Traveller, the Wicked Chanter, and the Captor and his horrifying slave. Now, I'm not going to go through each of these. I'm going to go on, talk about each of them as we come back in successive chapters to defeat them, because I don't think there's any point in going through all of them now, only to have forgotten, 10, 20 videos from now what Xelliren here said. So why don't you kill these 4 yourself? And yes, he's kind of repeating himself now. He doesn't want to go back in because, he fears that he will be transformed. He'll become the 5th of these 4. And so instead, he just summons idiots like us to go down there. But he feels that the final battle is near. So our first boss on floor 4 is going to be the Weary Traveller here. So let's find out about him. He was a gnome named Zess. He was quite a famous traveller, a pathfinder on 3 continents. But bleaching gives no quarter to his people. There came a day when he grew tired of new roads. When he heard my call, he came, knowing it would be his final adventure. And yes, he hoped for an honourable death. Alas, the darkness reached out to him from the abominable spawn of the beast, and refused him even that. An aura of madness fills the gnome with delusions of grandeur, and transported his mind into the marvellous Fey world, where he sits, a godlike ruler. So, a frightening, dangerous, and pathetic caricature of his former self. So he's trapped in these illusionary dreams. And I suppose Alice, as an enchantress, a Fey sorceress, is quite familiar with sending people off into illusionary dreams. But yes. Anyway, thank you, Xelliren. And we can rest here, and we can buy supplies. And he's got some quite interesting stuff, but he won't give them to us for free. So yeah. Anyway, we can just see here, there's some quite interesting things, notably things like Mithril Full Plate +2. So this is, don't buy anything. This is Mithril, so better AC from Dex than regular Full Plate. Some belts, some nice ones if you wanted them. But basically that's it for Xelliren. And we can rest as much as we want for free. We can eat this delicious deer, ham and apples, whatever the hell this green stuff is, kebabs, bones, yeah. There's one other NPC here, and he's down here, so we're going to just say hello to the honest guy.
I'll share my path.
Let's see, and he's cooking a deer with the antlers on. And I'm not going to run through all this dialogue. I'm going to save that to the end because I want to get on with floor 1 here. But let's just have a little chat. And I read somewhere that this was meant to be like homage or just parody of, either a because he's described as a tall, bulky fellow with a shaved head. It's meant to be like a parody of Patches in Dark Souls, but maybe I've entirely imagined that. But I suppose his bald head might indicate that. And we can look at his wares. He's got lots of nice things. Cloak of Resistance +2. Wand of Displacement and Wand of False Life are both quite nice because, for those that can't use them. And some rather unusual, these are all rather exotic weapons. Some of them exotic and some of them martial, but these are predominantly exotic weapons, which is cool. Which I think were added in because they were lacking in the base game. People weren't very happy about that. We're just going to sell him all our junk. There we go. I think we're good there. But we'll save talking to him for later. Maybe at the end of this video. But instead, now I considered doing this in one rest, but it's a bit dicey. So what I'm going to do, we're fatigued. I'm going to clear the first level, and then we'll rest, and then hopefully we'll clear the next 3 on one rest. On that one rest, meaning I don't waste too much in-game time here, because it's time is precious. There's so many things we could be doing with it that don't involve sleeping. It's like the insomniac adventuring party. So we're descending into the first level to defeat these 4 mini bosses with the aim to stop the spawn of Rovagug bursting out and destroying the Stolen Lands. And you can immediately see this place is bizarre. We are, purples, we are strange, sort of wisps. It looks extremely unpleasant. Now I'm just going to save. I know I just did before we came in, but there's a secret door here, which can be a little bit tricky to
Anything is possible.
And
Lindsay was called forth.
Get to up here. So we will just try and ensure that. There we go. Yeah, DC 25. So not an easy check. And we can come in and grab some more loot. Now this isn't very interesting, but in this chest here we get this quite interesting Gutsy Brawler. So looking at helmet here. Now it doesn't look like very much, does it? But since damage resistance 1/magic, it kind of feels tiny. But immunity to fear. Now, immunity, an item that provides immunity is always going to have some use somewhere, and anything that will provide a flat immunity, in the same way that Heart of Era here provides immunity to fatigue and exhaustion. These are very good situationally. Of course, you have to really know what you're going to encounter, but having a helmet that provides immunity to fear is quite handy.
It's my time to shine.
This first level is not particularly difficult, and so we're just gonna do a couple of buffs. And since we're gonna rest, it doesn't really matter. But we will clear this first map. Now we got something interesting in here, something we don't encounter all that much of, since we met some spider swarms. These are rat swarms, and everything on this map, to go with this purple theme, is diseased. So they can inflict diseases on us, but you can see these are low level, very low hit points. And rat swarms are not a tiny swarm; they're a small swarm, and so they can be affected with regular weapons. So even though it says tiny there, maybe the other one is microscopic. So yeah, if I can just sort of see that, there? No, it won't let me. So half damage from slashing and piercing weapons, but they're not fine or diminutive like the spider swarms are. And this is just a simple. Oop, this is just a simple we're rat here. Only level 2, so you know, as you can see, not particularly difficult. We can't charge a swarm, or else there's something in the way. But we're just gonna get
Let us strike as one.
Jubilos to throw some fire at them. If you can get there. So you can see here, damage being reduced. There we go.
A clever ploy.
And if you throw that there, that will hopefully catch the whole lot and get rid of these nasty things. No. Right.
Stand down.
Let's take out that last one. And maybe hang on to that for later. So, yeah. Troublesome if you're not outputting a lot of damage. Anyway.
I'll share my path.
The other thing of note here is you might as well pick up everything on every level, because each level you can go back to the top and just sell it all, and so these dungeons are a really great source of gold.
Interesting.
And experience as well. And you can come here early, as early as possible. It's easier if you spend the time leveling up. Basically, that's what I'd say. You can come slightly later, and you'll find it's not such a big deal. If we just charge down here, we should be able to pounce, i.e., do all our attacks on charge to get rid of some of these nasty, diseased enemies, and then everyone else can just join the party. Got people in the way. There we go. So yes, not
This requires your attention.
a particularly big issue. We're going to see whether we can skin these beasties here.
Anything else?
There we go, and we'll take all of that. And then over here,
Found something interesting.
perception check for this shock tongi. That's quite nice, if only for its value. We will be selling that. And you sort of see, like here, sometimes it looks like there's hidden things, and of course there are hidden doors in this chapter. Sorry, in this dungeon, but it's the sort of tile sets that make it up can be a bit awkward. They can be deceptive in implying that there are hidden doors when there aren't. Come on, you lot.
Does it matter?
So these should have said, but these are just diseased direwolves. Very low AC, very low hit points, almost no danger.
Your life ebbs low.
And they're kind of wedged. There we go.
Do not
Could hit Harem on a high roll.
Applause, please.
So the DC of these traps is not very high. We're gonna take all of that. Oh, and also you can return to these levels if you miss anything which you later find out about. So again, this is just, there's a lot of boxes filled with junk. So like this here, it looks like there's a way through, but that's not a secret door. This is the other notable thing here. You see this law religion, it looks like a little shrine. That's junk. It is. So going all the way down here,
Any brilliant ideas?
Saw it.
you get shrines which will provide you with a buff. So thanks, Harem. So we can look that we've been provided with sacred protection. And it's kind of randomized But you sort of see here the bonus's value depends on the dungeon level. So, and this is a sacred bonus. Sacred bonuses are pretty difficult to come by. So if we have a little look, yeah, we're getting a +2 sacred protection there. That's very nice. Not that we need it here, but yeah, it's just quite nice. So this is going to be pretty much the only tricky room in the in the dungeon. This one and the next one. So I'm just going to cast Protect Fire. Protection from fire, I should say. And we can see... Can we see... Weirrat here. And there's actually quite a lot of other stuff in here. But this, being a level 8 alchemist, he will start to throw some bombs at us if we are not careful. So, we're just gonna... Yeah, and now you can see there's werewolves in here as well. And these are only level 2. Should be. Yeah, so no danger at all, really. The main issue is this Weirrat. If you get distracted taking out all these others, casting shield, so we can just sit back here because some might come this way. There we go. And in fact, it's dead. There we go. No problem. Like enemies which would have been quite an issue for us in the past because of this damage reduction.
You deserved it.
We can sort of just punch our way through. Ow, that hurt. Is that a... What are you rolling there? A 20. Yeah.
Primitives.
Always a risk.
You offend me.
Critical hit for 4.
You should have run.
There we go. And they're going to have a load of junk on them. But yeah, so these alchemist weirrats, and this is just like a standard person. We get 2 magic items and a masterwork club. So this is a let me show you there. Headband of vast intelligence and a bombardier's vest. So there's no shortage of these, and they're quite valuable. Remove curse, potion to resist gold, and a masterwork club. Everything else is just regular stuff. We'll take all of that. And we'll have a little look in this chest.
It's just not my lucky day.
Ooh, right. So, what did you roll there, Lindsay? A 2. Thank you.
What's
So
new?
I'm going to save up because we can't fail. There's some of these chests, like they contain plot essential items that if we don't pass them,
My skills are
we're
getting
going to be
rusty.
not having a very nice
Time to
time.
get some rest, isn't it?
Where are you, Lindsay? No, that's what we want. There we go, there we go, there we go.
Adventurous call to them.
You can save us, Jubilost.
You can thank
There we
me
go.
now.
So, this is the item we wanted. That's a Amulet of Natural Armor +1. But this interview with the Weary Traveller, our first person we're going for. And this is what do you call it? Barandabel Zessel wand. And I guess the key thing here, if I scroll down to the next point, I'm not going to read it all out, is that he's being asked a question in this interview about the bleaching. And he very much says that is not the case. But that he has plans for the future. I will go north to the River Kingdoms. I've been having very strange dreams lately. I won't share all the details yet to maintain the intrigue, but if ever a part of them is true, then when I return, you'll be printing the tales of an incredible adventure. So yes, as many gnomes do, he's been searching for meaning and excitement and new stuff.
Just letting the ink dry.
Anyway, we've now got to return various bits and pieces. There we go. And we can just have a little look in the next room. I don't think there's
What
anything
troubles
down here.
Applause, please. The dangers don't frighten me.
The other thing is all these items that are lootable. Obviously, we can pick them up at the end as we descend the level. So, Greater Werewolf, again, nothing
Friendship lasts forever.
that's a particular issue. We actually turn back on power attack there.
Fatal mistake.
Your time is over.
And being hasted, this is
Will they ever learn?
quite simple there. And that's the last room. You can check out what they've got, and I believe it's nothing of interest. Let me just bring everyone forward.
Anything is possible.
Lindsay, there we go. Skin and collect. So, you can see everything except those 2 bits, but I'm just going to snag them here, collect all, and down we go. And so that was a diseased themed level. Now each level is not the same. We've got a next level, and I believe this one's going to be acid themed. Yes. So if we see here, we've got a portal which will take us back to the surface, and brand new level, and it's green, and that tends to imply acid. And these fights are actually quite hard. I'll do the first couple before we go upstairs, if we can.
Never wrong.
If we can have some success. Yeah. How you doing? What are we missing here? The really
Adventures are
obvious
exciting.
stuff. Since I don't entirely want to waste what's going on. So mage armor. No shield. That's the
You
one.
require my assistance?
The world is full of wonder. A simple smile goes a long way.
And there's some quite tough enemies
See what's called for.
here. I think we're almost out of good hope. So the issue here is that if we just have a little look, we're tigers. And we're acidic creatures, so obviously acid resistance, and they can inflict sickened or nauseated and deal additional acidic damage. And suddenly we're jumping up to standard enemies being level 7. They don't look very dangerous, but they have a tendency to charge your back row, is I guess how I would describe it.
No
So-
time for idling.
Recast,
Quiet. I'm thinking.
and we'll see how it goes. I'm just gonna try and lure them
I wrote it like I saw it.
down a bit, because then we can absorb these nasty charges. So there we go. All charging. We can actually, you can run out of charge range, and then they they do not have a very good time. But the others might charge over here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna, since they're acidic, I think they are chaotic evil, so we can holy bomb them.
A fine use of my talents.
And we can Dirge of Doom, and we can basically use a whole host of things that we're free to cast, because we're going to go rest in just a second. So the whole lot confused is I do love high DC enchantment. We can send them all shaken, and then we can send in these 2.
What a waste.
And poor old Lindsay's about to get hit. Almost dead. That.
Any last wishes?
Harem, you're not going to win if you're behind there. And the last one.
Rascal.
There. So, you saw how they this one changed target to move towards the others. The risk is that if you step into this room here, like this, there, and then you send your leopard forward, or Valerie, or someone who's going to absorb the first blow, they'll just charge at someone back here, and it's quite fun, really.
Just let it be and try.
It's not that difficult to mitigate against, as you've seen. Anyway, I'm taking that, I'm going back to the surface, and once we get there, I'll sell off everything, and I'm going to call the video quits there. I'll rest. I've got to re-look at my spells to see what's going to get us through these next 3 levels in one go, and then I will start a new video, which I believe will be number 60. That's quite a lot of videos.
We should gather
Yeah.
our strength.
So yeah, we can just come down to this honest guy. So just offer him all that trash for 800. And of course we're also accumulating these quite valuable items here that we don't actually need, because we've only got 1 alchemist, so we can sell Bombardier's Vest. We're never going to use a shock tongi because it's an exotic weapon. And you can see how our gold is really
I'll
racking
share my
up.
past.
Anyway, I'm going to call the video there, so I will see you in the next one.